Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to crack open some really incredible sources and pull out insights that might just shift how you see things.
Absolutely.
Today, we're diving deep into some profound spiritual wisdom, the main theme. It's about, well, completely rethinking what we usually call a blessing.
It's quite a radical idea, really.
Totally. We're going to challenge those standard ideas of success, happiness, and explore this call to shed an old self and step into a new, pretty countercultural way of living. So for this dive, we've got a great mix of materials. We'll be looking at parts of the New Testament, specifically Colossians, which is an early letter guiding Christians, and Luke's Gospel, one of the big stories of Jesus's life and teachings.
Right, foundational texts.
Exactly. And we've also got a responsorial psalm that's a type of poetic prayer and a daily reflection piece called Seeking True Blessings.
Nice blend of sources.
Our mission, really, is to pull out the key nuggets from all of this. We want to challenge our maybe default assumptions about life and give you a kind of shortcut to understanding this really transformative perspective. It might just turn your world right side up.
Yeah, prepare to have some conventional ideas questioned.
Okay, let's get into it. We kick off with this really powerful invitation in Colossians. It's about embracing a totally new way of being. This letter tells those raised with Christ, people who've embraced this new spiritual identity, to seek what is above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God.
So raised with Christ, that's about a fundamental shift, right? A death to the old ways, a new life.
Exactly. And seeking what is above, it's not about staring at the sky. It's about adopting this heavenly perspective, seeing things from a different viewpoint beyond just earthly stuff.
A mindset shift, really.
Yeah, the text says it directly. Think of what is above, not of what is on earth. That hits differently, doesn't it? It pushes back against where most of us put our focus day to day.
It really does. It sets a challenging tone right from the start.
And it gets more specific. There's this urgent call. Put to death, then, the parts of you that are earthly.
Put to death, strong language.
Very. And it lists examples: immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and the greed that is idolatry.
That definition of greed as idolatry is interesting. Placing ultimate value somewhere it doesn't belong.
Right. And it's not just internal stuff. It's also outward actions, words. Put away anger, fury, malice, slander, and obscene language out of your mouths. Stop lying to one another.
Wow. That covers a lot of ground.
It really does. It's a huge list and honestly a profound challenge. I mean, how many of us wrestle with these things, maybe without even realizing how deep they run?
Well, what's fascinating here is just how complete the break from the past is meant to be. The text says, you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God.
Hidden with Christ in God. What does that really imply?
It suggests this deep security, right? A reality that's beyond just the visible world, the stuff we see and touch. And it's not just about stopping bad behaviors. It's a fundamental change in who you are.
An identity shift.
Exactly. Taking off the old self with its practices and putting on the new self. And this new self isn't like finished. It is being renewed for knowledge in the image of its creator.
So it's ongoing, a process.
Yeah, a continuous transformation, a journey towards, a deeper understanding, becoming more like this divine ideal. It sounds like a lifelong project, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely, a lifelong project. And then the inclusivity part.
Wow.
It's radical, even now.
Tell us about that.
It says, here there is not Greek and Jew, circumcision and uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, slave, free, but Christ is all and in all.
That just blows away all the usual divisions.
Completely. It demolishes all those societal, cultural lines we draw. Think about our world today, so often defined by us versus them.
Yeah, nationality politics.
Right. This ancient text proposes this shared identity that completely redefines who we see as other. It's not just radical for back then. It's a direct challenge now.
It's a vision of humanity united in a single spiritual reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
Elapsing all those distinctions. Which, brings us a really important point.
What's that?
Just how challenging is it really to put to death these earthly parts of ourselves when, let's be honest, the world often encourages them? Things like greed, wanting status, even anger sometimes feels justified, right?
That was a huge challenge. Huge. It's not just avoiding bad stuff. It's actively swimming against the current, isn't it? Like, what does that practical daily effort look like, especially for something subtle like greed that is idolatry? It feels like you need constant vigilance.
Precisely. It means recognizing that almost every choice, every desire, every thought, it can either feed that old self, the one focused on getting stuff, getting validation,
Yeah.
or it can align with the new self, that's seeking that deeper spiritual renewal. It means constantly checking our motives, asking, why do I want this? Is it just for now or for something lasting?
Resisting that instant gratification cycle.
Exactly, which society pushes so hard.
Okay, so thinking about this new self, this personal transformation, it leads us naturally to the bigger picture, this idea of the kingdom that comes up in the sources.
Right, the context for all this change.
Yeah, and the responsorial psalm, Psalm 145, gives us this amazing picture of the kingdom and God's character.
And a responsorial psalm, just for context, is like a poetic prayer, often used in worship, meant to get everyone reflecting together.
Exactly. And this one is just full of praise. It says, "Every day will I bless you, and I will praise your name forever and ever. Great is the Lord, and highly to be praised. His greatness is unsearchable."
Unsearchable greatness. That phrase always stands out.
It does, and there's this comforting line that repeats, "The Lord is compassionate toward all his works." It really stresses the boundless nature and the loving character behind this kingdom. But yeah, unsearchable greatness. What does that really mean to be unsearchable?
Well, I think it's more than just mysterious. It points to this infinite quality, right? Something so vast we can never fully grasp it or, use it all up. There's always more to discover, a depth of wisdom, of love that's just beyond our finite minds. So the song kind of sets the scale for this whole spiritual transformation. It's not just personal. It's about lining up with something eternal, compassionate, magnificent.
Like our individual change is part of this huge cosmic picture.
Exactly. This idea of an everlasting dominion, it reinforces that what we're aiming for in the new self connects to something much bigger and more permanent than, just getting ahead on earth.
That makes sense. And this praise for the kingdom, it connects so well with the Alleluia verse we have here. It calls us to rejoice and leap for joy. Your reward will be great in heaven.
Alleluia, praise the Lord, an expression of pure joy.
Yeah. And it feels like such a stark contrast to the fleeting things the old self might chase after, doesn't it? It's this promise of a deep, lasting joy tied to this eternal kingdom, not temporary wins.
A completely different goalpost for happiness.
Okay, so let's shift now to Jesus' own words on blessings and woes.
All right.
Because this is where things get really interesting, where conventional wisdom just gets turned on its head.
This is often the most challenging part for people.
I find myself constantly having to reread and rethink this. So in Luke's gospel, Jesus is talking directly to his disciples, and he lays out these, startling ideas, starting with the Beatitudes, the blessing.
Right, the famous blessings.
He says, "Blessed are you who are poor, for the kingdom of God is yours." Then, "Blessed are you who are now hungry, for you will be satisfied." And, "Blessed are you who are now weeping, for you will laugh."
Not exactly what we usually think of as being blessed.
Not at all. And he even includes being persecuted. "Blessed are you when people hate you, and when they exclude and insult you, and denounce your name as evil on account of the Son of Man." That's how Jesus often referred to himself, the Son of Man.
So poverty, hunger, sorrow, rejection. These are presented as blessings.
Yeah. It's a total inversion of how we normally define blessed.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it forces that question, why? Why bless suffering and warn against comfort?
What's the thinking there?
It seems to be about where you place your ultimate security
Yeah.
and find your real satisfaction. The focus shifts entirely to the great reward in heaven. That's the ultimate prize, not immediate comfort or pleasure.
So it's not saying go looking for suffering.
No, not at all. But it's saying when you face hardship, don't see it just as misfortune. Understand that your true value, your true abundance, isn't tied to what you have or avoid here on earth.
It's found somewhere else.
Exactly. It reframes hardship. It's potentially a path to something deeper, more permanent. Maybe it cultivates reliance on God instead of just yourself or your circumstances.
And for those actually facing that hate or exclusion, the message is incredibly strong. "Rejoice and leap for joy on that day. Behold, your reward will be great in heaven."
Wow, leap for joy. That's intense.
It is, and he even compares it, saying, "For their ancestors treated the prophets in the same way." It almost makes enduring hardship sound like a badge of honor, a sign you're aligned with truth tellers from the past.
Yeah, it definitely makes you stop and think about what you truly value. If hardship is a blessing, what does that say about comfort?
Well, that brings us straight to the other side, the woes, these stark warnings. And they're aimed right at those who seem to have it made.
The ones we might typically envy.
Right. He says, "Woe to you who are rich, for you have received your consolation. And woe to you who are filled now, for you will be hungry."
Oof, that's direct.
It continues. "Woe to you who laugh now, for you will grieve and weep. And mirroring the blessing for the hated, he warns the popular, "Woe to you when all speak well of you, for their ancestors treated the false prophets in this way."
So, riches, being satisfied, laughing, being popular, all come with a woe.
It makes you rethink basically everything society tells us to strive for, doesn't it? That drive for approval, for success. It's almost our default setting.
It really is.
And the idea that popularity, everyone speaking well of you, could actually be a bad sign, a woe, that's particularly tough for our modern way of thinking, where public approval is often the goal.
It cuts deep, yeah.
It forces me to ask, am I living for the applause or for something more substantial? It's not about what the world gives you now, but where your real fulfillment is found.
And it's so important to grasp, this isn't saying wealth or joy are inherently evil.
Right, it's more nuanced than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a warning against putting your ultimate trust, your identity, your hope in those things. That phrase, "you have received your consolation," it's like saying, if earthly comfort is all you live for, well, that's all you're going to get.
That's your total reward, full stop.
Pretty much. There's nothing more waiting. It's about seeing how temporary these things are and how they can actually blind us to the deeper, eternal reality. Like the false prophets, they were popular because they told people comforting lies, not the hard truth.
Okay, so pulling these different threads together, the new self, the kingdom, the blessings and woes, or daily reflection piece, Seeking True Blessings, does a great job of crystallizing the main message.
How does it synthesize it?
It says very clearly, Jesus teaches that true blessings come not from wealth or comfort, but from trusting in God, even in poverty, sorrow, or rejection. It just nails that core paradox we've been digging into.
Fulfillment found in unexpected places.
Exactly, the opposite direction from what the world usually tells us.
And that synthesis is vital. It's not about hating money or happiness, but a serious warning. Don't find your ultimate worth or identity there. The reflection puts it well. The world often values riches and applause, but Christ reminds us that these are fleeting.
Fleeting, that's the key word, isn't it? Temporary.
Absolutely. Earthly gains don't last. The spiritual blessings, though, are presented as eternal. It really pushes us to look beyond the immediate, doesn't it? To think about the long game, aligning our inner life with that eternal perspective.
And it points to the path for real joy, saying, real joy and reward await those who endure trials with faith and humility.
Again, not seeking trials, but how you face them.
Right. It's about the mindset. Developing resilience, a deeper trust when things get tough. This whole thing really invites a huge mindset shift.
A fundamental reorientation.
Yeah. Live with your eyes fixed on heaven rather than worldly success. It even echoes that song we talked about. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. It brings it back to trust, to relationship, not just accumulation.
So the call is really to reorient our whole perspective, to recognize that real security, real joy, they're found in that deeper, lasting relationship. It's about choosing a different scoreboard for success than the one society usually hands us.
Okay, but then the practical question comes up again.
How do we actually do that?
Exactly. How do we actively cultivate that heavenly focus day to day when everything around us, the ads, the culture is pushing us towards earthly measures, money, status, just constant entertainment?
Yeah, the pressure is immense. What are the actual steps, the mindsets we need?
That really is the million-dollar question. For me, I think it has to start with a kind of daily intentional check-in.
Like what?
Like asking, okay, is the stuff I'm consuming, the media, the conversations, is it feeding the old self or the new self? Are the goals I'm chasing just about getting praise, or do they connect to something deeper, more lasting? It's like needing this constant, gentle redirection.
That makes sense, a conscious steering, exactly. And recognizing that pretty much every moment is a chance to practice that new perspective. Maybe it's choosing gratitude when things are frustrating.
Or finding compassion for someone you really disagree with.
Right. Or even just stepping back from the endless scroll on our phones to actually reflect on what truly matters. It's probably a series of these small, intentional choices that over time build up that heavenly focus, even with all the earthly noise.
And the reflection piece actually gives a direct challenge for you, the listener. It asks in its question section, what worldly comfort or attachment can I let go of today so I can follow Christ more faithfully?
Wow. Brings it right home.
Yeah, it makes it very personal, very actionable.
So We've covered a lot of ground here.
We really have. What a journey into understanding this new self and embracing this really countercultural view on blessings and what truly fulfills us.
A radical rethinking.
Totally.
Yeah.
We talked about that call to shed the old self with all its earthly ties, the huge eternal nature of God's compassionate kingdom.
And Jesus' really challenging teachings on who's truly blessed.
Yeah, emphasizing that real joy, lasting joy, comes from facing trials with faith and keeping that eternal focus.
This whole deep dive, it really pushes for some critical thinking about our core values, doesn't it?
For sure.
And the challenge isn't just intellectual, it's deeply personal. It's about looking honestly at what we prioritize and asking if those priorities line up with this message of eternal blessings, this new self that goes beyond all the usual divisions.
Examining the foundations of what we chase in life.
And considering the long-term consequences of those choices.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a final, maybe provocative thought for you to chew on.
All right, let's hear it.
In a world that's constantly telling you to get more, achieve more, climb higher, what would it actually look like, feel like, for you to rejoice and leap for joy, not because of what you have, but maybe because of what you've consciously chosen to let go of, and because of where your ultimate hope truly lies?
That's a powerful question to sit with.
Something to think about until next time.